Norm,
Good morning,
as
David.
usual, it's always good to see you.
Oh, hey man, listen,
I'm so glad we're getting together about this. Before we get started to share some information with the residents, I just wanted to tell all the residents that Norm is the new chairman of the resident council. My tour of 2 years is over. I've enjoyed it. I've loved working with all of you, but I know Norm's going to do a great job. So congratulations.
well, thank you, David. I appreciate your confidence in those kind remarks. You know, it's been a while since we've done one of these.
It has been. People have been asking, when are we going to have another video?
When are we going to do this? Well, I got to thinking about this, and you know, as you and I talked about this, that I think it's kind of a good time for us to talk a little bit about where we've been here at the Ark, some of the things we've been through, and some of the things that are still going on, and where we're going.
Right,
yeah,
right.
and where we're going in the future.
Yeah, because we don't want to look back. We want to go forward.
No, everything is, you know, we've spent a lot of money here, and this is progress. We don't want to go back where we were. We want to go
Absolutely
go
not.
ahead, even if it presents some challenges that we're not used to.
And it's going to.
And it's going to.
There's going to be some challenges.
It's going to. Hey, you kind of wanted to kind of recount back. Remember we had the ice storm back in what was that, 2019? Somewhere around
I don't know.
there.
I've slept since then, but
I don't remember exactly when, but I know. But man, I tell you, the thing that stuck out in my mind was how well the Ark took care of us during all of that time. Remember, we had hot food. They came around
with
and with
water to flush the
Yeah,
toilets,
and
and I remember there was about 3 or 4 residents I got together. We got on the bus to hand out meals. The staff was. We were putting it together in bags, and then they were taking it going to the door.
oh yeah,
And
just amazing.
the staff did a phenomenal job.
Just
Thanks,
amazing.
Hakeem, and
we really-
Alita and all that.
That's one of the great things that the Ark does, is to take care of us. And you know, we thought the ice storm was going to be once we got through that, we thought we were in good shape. And
That's right.
Then what happened?
Let's see, COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a challenge.
Man, listen, we got introduced to masks and quarantine and getting tested and vaccinations, and oh man, I'll tell you, got travel shutdowns. Remember, nobody could go anywhere.
Oh, absolutely. But I want to say one thing real quick. I got to compliment Steve on how he handled that. People were upset. Oh, we got to still wear masks. But you look at our facility compared to others, whether it's here in the San Antonio area or whether it's around the United States, we were very lucky. We had very few problems.
Tell you, we did well. We did well, and our residents stayed safe. We had very few incidents of things.
And they did a good job of taking care of themselves and their neighbors.
And it was tough. It was tough, man. I tell you, you know, people when you couldn't go into healthcare and sit down with your loved ones and that sort of thing.
Oh yeah,
it was tough. But we made it through it. We did. We made through that. And then right after COVID finishes up, what do we went right into this campus redevelopment plan, you know, and even though it was planned before COVID and got put on hold, we didn't slow down. We just kept going, and we went right into that thing. And that began about, I think, middle of July, didn't it?
I guess I think you were telling me the other day that July 4th was our last meal.
That's correct.
In the main dining room.
That's correct. And the thing that I want everybody to remember is we're not looking at this like this didn't just affect the people that live in the high-rise building, which a lot of people, believe it or not, want to think that's the case, but it didn't. It affected everybody on the campus. Now, those of us that live in a high-rise, we fought the dust and the noise and the water break and all that kind of stuff. But that affected everybody, you know, because we had to change all the dining business. We changed the activities thing. All got revamped and shut down. And we've got, just the whole campus was involved in this thing in some form or other. And I just want to make sure everybody understands that we recognize that. Even, boy, I tell you, we had residents that got relocated because construction was going on, and they were out of their own home for sometimes weeks at a time. And
And we had occasional water problems, and they had to move them to
had to
other
move.
places.
And we started trying to put it together, and then the supply chain issues got us, and then trying to get stuff delivered, even furniture. I mean, couldn't even do this stuff.
Right.
But yet we just charged on, and people did pretty good, did a great job of I think of being patient and working with it. We had some hiccups, and but we moved right on. We moved right on along. And you know the thing that was, and to make it even worse,
What's that?
that wasn't all that was going on. You know, at the same time, we were doing other upgrades right here on the campus. You know, we most of it right was in the high rise, of course.
Right.
But again, anything on the campus affects everybody. And,
Absolutely.
And when we did plumbing, we did the new fire alarm system, the new plumbing.
Yeah, the underground plumbing. They were
underground.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't tell you how many false alarms we had trying out new fire
Yeah,
system.
you guys suffered in the high rise. Suffered that. I didn't hear many false alarms in my cottage, but I felt for every one of you because that had to be very difficult.
Yeah. But there was a lot of changes that took place as we were going along, and it was difficult for the residents here because sometimes the changes were just short notice, and some of them probably could have been handled better, but most of them were that it was imminent that we do them because it was something that we had to do right now.
Right.
So we did that. But you know, we've come through that. We come through the bulk of that thing now, and that redevelopment plan we're moving on, and we're probably almost 90% complete on that.
Yeah. You know, I want to say one other thing. You know, you talked about complaints. A lot of residents had some very genuine concerns and complaints. I fielded a lot of them as chairman of the council, but I must tell you and tell all of you out there that we worked our way through it. You know, the council did a phenomenal job of communicating with everybody. That was one of the things that I pushed a lot is communication. So thank you to all the residents for working with us.
Yes, and I agree. You did a great job on doing that kind of stuff. So now our challenge is
we have more challenges.
Well, we're just getting started. Man.
Okay.
We're reaching the point where we can see the end now. Now, we don't have it nailed to the wall yet, but we're right down there to where we can see it.
Are you trying to say there's a light at the end of the tunnel? It's not a train.
I hope. We have, but the thing that's going to happen though is you know we are going to work our way. We're going to ease our way back into this thing. We're going to phase this reopening so that we get it right, and we got to get stuff in place and take our time to implement what we're doing on each one of the phases. You know, for example, we're going to probably the main area we're going to try to work on. Of course, everybody wants to get back in the dining room.
Sure.
Okay. And the dining room may be the construction may be completed, you know, at a certain time, but we got to learn we've got to get our people familiar with what's going on. We got to make sure all the equipment works. We got to learn how to use it. We got new workflows. We got new all kinds of things that have to be learned and have to be put together before we can. We want to turn everybody loose on it because we're not going to fail.
I heard a rumor
Mm-hmm.
that we're not going to have plastic forks and spoons in the main dining room. Is that true?
That is a good rumor. That is a good rumor. And,
Yeah,
and we're grateful for it.
absolutely.
Yeah. You know, one of the things though is it's coming at a time of the year that is difficult though, because you know, once again we're coming up on the holidays, and you know, we've been beaten out of the holidays now. This is about the third or fourth year running, you know, and people are really anxious to get back in that, and I understand it. We all are. But you know, in our plan, you know, our plan is, you know, we're probably, as we phase things back in, we're going to try to do the main dining room and the kitchen and the lobby area up there will probably be first in the phase in. The auditorium, the Sky Lounge will be next, and then we'll get the country market in down here, and we'll do that. Now, couple of things on that though is we can't shut down any of our temporary stuff until we get all of this stuff up.
Right.
So we're going to be running two operations here, in many cases, for quite a while.
You're talking about the TDR may be open and the main dining room at some point.
Yes, because you know we may in order to go through this learning process, we may, like, for example, we might have the TDR might be open as it is now.
Okay.
But we might also serve a meal in the main dining room to give the staff a chance to get spun up on making sure everything works and that. And then once we've got that in to where that's successful and we're satisfied that we've got it down right, then we'll add something else. And then we'll add something else. And we'll add something else until we finally work our way all the way through everything in there. But I want to talk about the holiday thing just a little bit, though.
Yeah, I think because that's on everybody's mind.
That's on everybody's mind. I know there's been talk about, and you know, and it is true. The plan all along has been trying to work toward a worst case of having the Christmas brunch over here in the main dining room. But we're still working toward that. But as of right now, it's still going to be at the water's edge. Okay.
You're talking about Christmas or Thanksgiving?
I'm talking about Christmas, Thanksgiving, and Christmas.
Okay, I misunderstood. Okay.
Right. Well, and there's been talk about, because, you know, and it is true. Our goal is to try to get over here by Christmas time. And if everything were to go perfectly, we might still be able to. But as of right now, it's still at the water's edge. Okay. So I need people to understand.
Both holiday meals.
Both holiday meals.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Now, what about parties now? Well, right now, residents can continue to have the holiday parties if they so desire, but they got to go to the Heroes Hall over Lakeside.
Okay.
Okay, because we're just not going to be set up to be able to do them here.
The Sky Lounge won't be ready right away.
Yeah, but I will tell you this. You know, if the people are got a holiday event that they want to do over at the Lakeside, go ahead and coordinate that with Rachel or Shane or whoever is doing that,
right, and
get that set up to do. But I will tell you that dining is planning. That right now, in the planning process, is to do a New Year's event of some sort. If we make this thing work, to do a New Year's event of some sort in the Sky Lounge.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So not going to be available for the residents to do individual stuff, but dining is going to try to pull the first one through the Sky Lounge.
What about the private dining room? When will parties? How soon do you think that's going to be? You may not know the answer. I
don't. I really don't think that the main dining room or the private dining room right now it's on pretty much the same timeline as the rest of the main dining room is concerned, because it's not being worked separately. It's all one package.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's going to be the same way with the main dining room. So if residents want to have holiday parties, you can still do it, but you got to go to the Lakeside to do it. Okay,
right.
Make your reservations just like you normally do. We're still, as of right now, even though our goal is to do it, we plan on both meals up through Christmas being over at Lakeside.
Got you.
But we're planning a New Year's event in the Sky Lounge over here. Dining is planning to do that. So hopefully I've laid that out so that everybody understands what the plan is.
The private party type thing, I think people need to understand. Don't wait till the last minute to try to get your Heroes Hall reserved.
No, need to do it now.
But you need to, because you may want to do it on November 12th and somebody just called an hour before you and reserved November 12th. So it's important that you guys, if you think you're going to have some parties, try to set some dates and get them reserved as soon as possible.
Yeah. And And I know there's been a lot of talk about all of this and a lot of hopes and plans on how it is. But hopefully, I've laid it out to where people understand what to really expect on it. And if it changes, we'll let you know. Believe me, we'll let you know. But if we can get through all of this stuff, like I said earlier, we're going to keep all the temporary dining stuff is going to stay in place
Right.
until everything is done. And when everything is done, then we're going to return the bistro back to the bistro.
Oh,
The resident
okay.
lounge is going back to the resident lounge.
Okay.
And we'll be able to do that. But that's the plan. So, it's not like contractor leaves tomorrow. He says, "I'm done."
Right.
And David walks in the door and flips the light switch, and everything's brand new. And here
Yeah.
we go.
Yeah,
wish-
that's probably not going to happen.
I wish we could do that, man, but it's just not going to happen.
I know the contractors are working so very hard. They're in here all the time. I think, how many did you say that
Oh, there was over 50 of them just in the main dining room alone.
when we toured that?
Yeah,
God, they were everywhere.
But they're up against a timeline, and so they're trying their best to do it. But at the same time, though, people need to understand that they're under a lot of scrutiny to make sure nobody's cutting corners or anything like that. So
That's a good point.
we're going to end up
Just because there's a deadline, they don't. Well, we won't worry about this.
Yeah.
They won't figure it out.
Yeah, and there'll be some, there'll be some punch
Right.
list stuff that'll take place after the main effort is over. But we'll work our way through that. But there's lots to do. We got a lot of stuff that we need to do.
Like what?
Here? Well, we got little things like we got to get new activities started back up again. We got to figure out where we're going to do all of this stuff. Who's going to use what space when? And activities is just going crazy trying to get that done.
We need to applaud Felicia and Jane. I started to say Janie,
Julie.
but Janie is your wife.
That's right.
Not Julie. Sorry about that, Julie. Anyway, got to applaud them for the job they have done.
Yeah.
They have done a yeoman's job of keeping things going.
Well, they really have, and they've they run 180 plus activities every month.
It's amazing.
But we've got to restart our dress code that we've kind of let fall by the wayside, and because we get back in the main dining room, we're not in the bistro anymore.
Right.
And so even though the code hasn't changed, people just
It's
need
not
to
been enforced.
we really haven't to bear down on it to kind of get people to understand that we've got a decorum that we want to try to keep here. We need to do that, and we need everybody's help to do that. All the residents here have a responsibility to do that.
It's not the staff's responsibility to enforce the dress code.
No.
And the dress code, just remind everybody, is that was voted upon several years ago by the council.
Yeah.
The council came up with the dress code, not the ARC.
Yeah. And the council is the people that live here.
Right.
That's
correct.
Representatives of who lives
Yes.
here. But if you have guests or family members or somebody coming in, but take a look at that dress code and just remind them that this is the way it is, the way we do business here, and ask them to help us out.
If you need a copy of the dress code, see your street or floor rep, and they'll be more than happy to share that with you.
Oh yeah, it's out there. But the whole idea behind this thing is we're also going to be looking around for new ways to improve the campus life here,
Right.
Whatever that may be. We've got to make sure that this renovation was to help keep us competitive in the market out here and to try to raise up the occupancy rate here. And it's going to take time, for this phased reopening. And this is something that people are going to need to understand, and they're going to need to be patient with this whole thing.
You're saying there's some. Go ahead.
No, and there's a lot of stuff going on, that we're having to be patient about. We've retrained everybody how to get in the back gate out here.
Yes, we have. And some people are very happy about that. Others want to go out the front. Just so everybody knows, the plan is in progress to move the front gate away from the street closer to Doughboy.
Yeah, just make it safer.
Make it safer. They're working on that with plans and architects, et cetera, to try to get that done before the front gate opens. And of course, the reason it's been delayed is the state and the county have said that they feel like it's not safe for us to be going out that gate. So that's why they're in process of planning to move the gate.
Yeah. Well, we talked about a lot of stuff here, but one of the things that I want to make sure people understand is this. They've heard this term strategic planning now for 2 or 3 years.
Right.
But that process is still ongoing. We've got, as a matter of fact, we've got 5 subcommittees out there that are made up of the staff and residents and board of directors members, and looking at some major areas here at the ARC to figure out how to continually move us ahead. And I know you're involved in that also.
The board of directors and management got with me as chairman of the council to come up with staffing or filling out residents' involvement in these strategic planning committees. There's 5 of them, as Norm says: campus development and technology, community engagement, philanthropic culture. I can never get that word right.
Philanthropic?
Yeah, that's the one. Send money. Resident satisfaction and well-being measurement, continuing of care, and repositioning initiative. There's a total of 21 residents involved in these committees. We had one that's already since started and finished, and that was the eligibility committee. We had 7 of those residents on there. The board of directors accepted that committee's recommendation, and now we are able to have additional people eligible to come in here. So thank you, residents that have agreed to serve on these committees, and hopefully there's going to be more involvement. Not hopefully, there's going to be more involvement of residents.
Yeah. And by the way, while you're talking about that sort of thing, don't we have some residents on the board of directors?
We do have some residents on the board of directors. Let's see, there's Janet
Morgan,
yeah, and Lawson Magruder,
right,
and Sharon Taylor, and Rick Wright.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we do have a voice in what goes on at the board on the board of directors.
Absolutely. Tom McGuire, who's chairman of the board of directors, is so much a believer, and he's a retired Army colonel. So it's not like somebody from the outside that has no idea what's going on there. He's chairman. He is a believer in getting the residents and the resident council involved. So thanks to, as I said, Sharon and Lawson, Rick and Janet for being on the board and representing the residents.
Yeah. Well, it helps. It's a help in shaping the future of what we're doing here as we're starting to close in on what's going on here and whatever the next phase.
Some of the I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, and just as we move ahead.
Some of the residents are interested when they can tour or see what's going on.
We're going to that's in progress, by the way.
Okay.
That's going to happen. That's going to happen pretty soon. Probably what's going to happen is I'm going to get the resident council reps through first and get a chance for them to see what's going on, and then I know I spoke with the folks this morning, and they're already working up a plan to provide tours for interested residents that want to do that.
Be careful, folks. These are still hard hat areas. Even though you may see the door open, don't just walk in, because there's still, as we said earlier, a lot of contractors in there. It's dangerous in some areas, so please be careful.
Yeah, a lot of work still going on, because they're hustling to try to see what we can do. I do have some concerns about this as we start closing in on this thing, because one of the things that I'm a newbie here. I've only lived here 6 years,
Okay.
but I will tell you that in the 6 years I've seen the Ark change so much. And one of the things that happens here is communication, and we hear people complain about that all the time. But I want to ensure that people understand that as we start closing out this renovation and we start into the phasing of the process to get us back in there, they're going to use all available communication that we can. Information sheets, going to put it on channel 1890. There'll be briefings. I'm going to lean heavily on the floor and street reps,
Right.
to help be able to pass the word of mouth out there. Because I got to tell you, David, the one thing I want to try to do is I want to try to cut down on the syndrome of the rumors that fly around. You're not going to stop them, because there's always going to be rumors. But one of the things that I hear way too often is somebody will say, "Well, nobody told me about that."
Right.
Okay, that shouldn't happen. Somebody, hopefully we're going to have enough ways of communication out there to do that. And you folks out there can help us with that. If you hear a rumor, make sure before you start passing around a rumor, make sure that it's in fact the fact. Check it out a little bit. Ask some people to make sure, because rumors don't do us any good here.
No, it causes uproar and people are unhappy and frustrated. There's TV monitors around the floors. The idea is that from time to time, those will start having suggestions. Did you know type thing. That originally that idea came from you.
Well,
and that's what started all these videos. You says, no, you did, but you said, shouldn't we have monitors where people walk by and somebody says, "Hey, did you know?"
Yeah.
And then that's when. That's going to continue.
Well, the whole point is the staff and the resident council are going to try to provide as many opportunities as we can, in many ways, for people to get information.
Right.
Now, got to tell you, residents got a responsibility in this thing. They got to be willing to read the sheets, and they got to be willing to check the TV, and they got to be willing to listen, and they got to be willing to ask questions. And I know they will. I know they will. I have full confidence that everybody will. Our point's to try to keep the confusion and keep the frustration down to a minimum. I know there's going to be some, but be on the lookout for information that comes out on what's happening, and we're going to try to get it out as soon as we can, so that we don't have too many just awfully real short notice.
Yeah, that's right.
So
yeah.
So, but I'd like to thank all the residents for the patience that they've had in putting up with all of this.
Absolutely.
Because I will tell you, I living in the high rise, I can tell you I've seen it all over here, and some of it's not been real pleasant, but we're almost there, folks. And there are a lot of folks on the campus, David, that have helped in various parts of this renovation business and are moving ahead. There's a lot of folks here.
Absolutely. A lot of volunteers doing the yeoman's job and things. And so, again, don't forget, there's a lot of committees out there, all kinds of different committees, that if you'd like to get involved, please contact the committee chair, contact Norm or whatever, and say, "Hey, I'm interested in gardening. I'm interested in this. Who do I need to see?" Please stay and please get involved.
Please get involved. And be patient. We're getting there, and I think you'll be pleased with the results.
You keep asking us to be patient.
Well, patience is something. Patience is a fleeting thing.
Yes, it is.
It happens.
Yes, it is.
But anyway, I appreciate your attention.
Thank you.
And thank you very much. And we'll get there.
Have a good day.